Welcome, Proud Family fans! We're now back with another review, and this time we're focusing on Proud Family Louder and Prouder Season 2. Now, I'll start things right off the bat by saying, compared to the first season of Louder and Prouder, Season 2 is very much a return to form when it comes to capturing the feeling and enjoyment I had watching the original Proud Family series, although there are a few problems, which we'll get to in this review. First, let's go over the animation, which is honestly gorgeous. Compared to the first season, the characters were way more expressive than before. This was especially apparent in scenes where there's a lot of action going on and a lot of emotions. I have to say to the animators, this was top-notch work. Now let's talk about the voice acting, which is also pretty stellar. The veterans, as we know, like Kyla Pratt, all did pretty good, not to mention the guest list was also pretty stacked. We had Brenda Song, who was also around last season. We also had new people like Leslie Odom Jr., who played Brother Kwame. His voice was solid. Not to mention, we had Gabrielle Union as Talia, also nice. And even Chance the Rapper got in to join the fun. All in all, this was a pretty good cast of people to play these characters. Really liked it. I can also appreciate the OST and the background music that was used for this season as well. I thought last season was a bit too noisy when it came to the random noises, and they really cut it down this season. In addition, the background music that was used for the various scenes we were playing were also well selected. Each one felt as though they fit. No real distraction, honestly.
What's this karaoke court? She sound like a cow giving birth.
Now let's move on to something a bit more controversial. The episodes themselves. As a whole, I think Loud and Prouder Season 2 is a strong season, very much stronger than Season 1, but a few of the episodes were a little off, I would say. Proud Family has never really shied away from real-world topics, and honestly, I think it's one of the stronger points of the series compared to other animated shows on Disney Channel. But in this case, a few of the topics they covered, they weren't really done properly. A good example of this is the colorism episode, where Zoe was asked out by a famous celebrity specifically because she was white. That is a very real issue in modern times, and as a black man myself, I kinda get how Penny and the others felt. Just because I can understand Penny and her friends doesn't mean I can agree how they acted. They treated Zoe absolutely horrible for something she had no control over. Instead, they didn't go after this Noah character, who was actually the problem. I can't believe someone thought it was a good idea to write this episode the way it was and thought, there's something wrong with this. This is a good way to show how colorism works in modern times. No, just no. It was awful execution, and frankly, it showed Penny's friends at their worst, which is frankly surprising because they're awful people to begin with, but we'll get to that a little later. The episode focusing on slavery also was an episode where it had a good topic but executed poorly. Maya's dad, Barry, was the descendant of the founder of Smithville, and he happened to be a slave owner. So, naturally, Maya and the others didn't take too kindly to that. The problem with the execution with that episode is that the fact that it got some stuff wrong. While it is true that Lincoln did not view blacks and whites as equal, he didn't necessarily try to deport them as well. Well, there was an attempt to do that, but the whole point I'm trying to make is that the way they presented the history of the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't exactly accurate, and it gave a rather biased opinion of what really went down there back then. It's a bit disappointing that the episodes that focused on colorism and slavery were done so poorly when the season premiere, which focused on misogyny and also interracial marriage laws, was done so well. I don't really know what happened in the writing room, but if there's a season 3, I hope they can solve it. Of course, those few blemishes aside, I would say most of the episodes in Season 2 are pretty good. I really liked the episode where they focused on BB being on the spectrum. That was really well done. Another is when we saw the Peanuts again, which I didn't think would get another appearance after the Proud Family movie way back in the day. It's really nice, even if it was just a dream sequence. Now, let's focus on the most important aspect of the show, the characters who actually make up all this stuff. I would say that, for the most part, a lot of the same problems in both Season 1 of Loud and Prouder and even the original series still persist even now. Penny is great to watch, and Oscar was a way more tolerable this season, but Penny's friends are still terrible people. The toxicity is just reaching new levels of awful. The colorism episode was a prime example of that. The use of characters this season was also kind of weird. Like, for some reason, KG didn't appear until like the second half of the season. I honestly forgot Maya even had a brother. He just showed up like, what, 1 or 2 episodes? And that's what's going on with Kareem. It's really confusing. Not only that, Trudy still didn't get any focus. Not a single episode related to her this season. I mean, it makes you wonder why she's even around sometimes. Those are just personal caveats on my part. Overall, the show is about the Proud family, and for the most part, every single one of them did get a decent amount of screen time, even if not all of them got good storylines, like Trudy, and I guess Cece too, actually. Before wrapping things up, there is one thing I do want to acknowledge. I do like the fact that Proud Family Loud and Prouder does embrace the fact that this is indeed an cartoon in animation. Hilarious moments like Penny getting flattened at the museum really show that they're not afraid to embrace their cartoonish nature, even though they do like to cover real-world topics every now and then. Overall, I would say Louder and Prouder Season 2 is a much stronger season than Season 1. There are some things here that just don't work, like a few episodes, like the ones focusing colorism and slavery, and the writing is just mismatched and mismangled as always. But overall, I think it'd be fair to the Proud family, whether it be way back in 2001 or these days in 2023, I think you should give this a watch. Not every episode works, but you're guaranteed to have a good time either way.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, try to give a like or leave a comment. If you didn't like what you saw, try to leave me some feedback to see in ways I can improve. Thank you. Have a nice day.